Welcome everybody to another episode of Real Life Matters. And today it's health day today. So I have somebody that specializes in health, that health and wellness and does all the above. And we're going to learn a lot of stuff today. We got some slides that two slides that he's going to put in. He's going to tell how he looked before and after, and some of the products and stuff like that. But anyways, with no other further ado, I'm going to introduce to you Ian Clark, CEO and founder of Activation Products.
Hey,
Welcome.
DBoss. Hey, thanks so much. Pleasure to be here.
How are you?
I'm doing fantastic. Having one of those
Well,
good days.
well, you look like Moses or something there.
Yeah, I get that once in a while, or Aristotle.
I guess it's the COVID and stuff at different times. But that's great. Well, they call you, you're not really a doctor, but you've been working in medicine in medicinal products and different things for getting people healthy. So can you tell us a little bit about yourself?
Yeah, well, I became very conversant in high-level wellness by default. I hit the wall when I was 46 years old and almost died. I had about 1,000 days left to live based on medical prognosis at that time. And I come from a family of medical professionals. My brother was a doctor for 30 years. My sister has her master's in nursing, married to a heart surgeon. And that's the level that I was normally used to. You just go to the doctor when something goes wrong. And but when it was my turn, I didn't like it. I was 46 years old and I had 3 different life-threatening problems. I was told I had 2 different types of cancer and heart disease, which the cancer diagnosis on one of them was incorrect, one of them was correct. And then the heart disease was also a problem. But what upset me was I remembered 20 years prior to that, actually 26 years before that, my uncles died in 1978, 2 days apart on my mom's side. I looked just like one of them. And they were 51 and 54 years old. They both followed the exact protocol that the medical doctors gave them at that time. One had thyroid cancer, one had liver cancer, and they both basically died on time. They were told if you don't do the treatments, of course, you're going to die sooner. And if you do them, you're going to live, for as long as we can get you to go. They didn't make it very long. One made it a year, one made it about 5 months. But at any rate, I just remembered that. And it was really weird because in 1978, there weren't many other options. And they just did what they were told. And I thought, well, here, it was in 2004 when I was 46. With 1,000 days left to live, and I'm like, oh, really? It was really upsetting, and I knew I was in trouble. But I just thought I would rather die at my own hands rather than someone else's, because I kept catching the doctors guessing. In my case, they were guessing multiple times, and it just dropped my confidence in them, because I've seen doctors in medical world do wonderful things for people over the years. Obviously, they save people's lives every day. But in my case, it was really getting bad. And I just wanted to find out if there was a different way, because I believed that there were people in the world who actually knew what to do without all these medical interventions. But I just didn't know who they were, where they were, how to find them. But I believed they existed. So it's kind of like a needle in a haystack, right? Because when you're super sick, the last thing you want to do is go out and do things. You just kind of want to lay down and be sick and probably die. And I didn't like the surgery ideas. I didn't like anything they were offering me. I especially didn't like the fact that I was given 1,000 days. So I thought, if I've got 1,000 days, could I use that 1,000-day period to extend that to 5,000? And if I could get 5,000 days, then it would give me some bandwidth to work with, where I wasn't under so much pressure. And fortunately, long story short, is I'm 62 now, 16 years later, and I have about 21,000 days left to go, based on the current trajectory. If I don't have an accident or something weird takes me out. So the average lifespan of people could be up to 120 years, but because they don't know what could be shortening that, many things shorten that. Now, the interesting thing about you and me right now today is that we can't feel the days at the end of our life moving towards us.
Right.
They're moving towards us, or we're keeping them there, depending on what we know. As they move towards us, if we meet them at 70 years old or 60 or 50, or like I was meeting it at 46, going to be out of here by 49, That's really messed up. So what I learned is that you can correct the issues that have shortened the time frame and start to move it back out again. But you have to know what you're doing. And I was super fortunate to be led to people who really understood the way the human operating system works. And there are so many different operating systems. There's like 12 different systems. We're not going to get into all that right now, but just think about endocrine and circulatory and respiratory and digestive and autonomic nervous. All those things want to work together in synergy and get along. And if there's anything disrupting any of those systems, each one will affect the others simultaneously. So when I found out about that, I was like, okay. So I want to meet the people who know everything about each one of those at the top level, because I had a limited amount of time, energy, and money to work with.
Mm-hmm.
And I knew that everyone would want to have access to that if they could have it. And I was very fortunate, again, because I was able to travel. I started to get resources financially to do these things, and ended up investing in a lot of good and cool stuff. But over the last 16 years, I learned what actually moves the needle and what doesn't, so that people don't waste their money on the things that don't move the needle enough. Because you really just want to be healthy.
Yes.
You want to live your life out. You don't want to have to worry about surprise cancer diagnosis, heart attacks, weird diseases, sudden infections, and having some compromise to your health. You just want to be happy to be alive and live a very long, productive life. I think that's what everybody would love.
Yes. So you're a lot slimmer now.
Well, I lost about 90 pounds, but it wasn't about being overweight. That wasn't the unhealthy thing with me. That was me at 46. So I've dramatically changed. I'm not even recognizable from where I was.
That doesn't even look like you.
No, that's right. It doesn't. I don't. In fact, when that picture was taken, it was going to be like my son was encouraging me to get in shape because he was in top athletic condition, and I used to be in really good athletic condition. So he said, "Look, we got to get a picture, and you got to work. I'll help you." But when he took that picture, I was so shocked when I saw the picture on my computer. I buried it. I left it on the hard drive, but I thought I don't ever want anybody to see that picture.
Wow.
And then when I found out that I was actually really sick, it was about a year after that I got real sick. Then I realized, it's not about the weight anyway, but that it took me 3 years to find the computer that had that hard drive that had that picture on it. And when I brought it up again, I couldn't believe the difference. I had gone through this major metamorphosis and change. So really, all of us want to look like we were when we were 21 in top condition.
Mm-hmm.
That's what we want to be. We want to feel like that, or even feel better.
But Ian, a lot of people can relate to that picture because a lot of people look like that, So you hit the picture, but a lot of people look like that size and that type of weight,
Right.
So that's the population, the general public, So, but I guess when you saw yourself and looking at now, it's two different people.
It is, yeah, and you can be overweight and still remain fairly healthy and live a long life. So it's not about the weight; it's about what is inside your body. And people ask me how much weight I lost, and I would say, well, on the scale it showed 90 pounds, but in reality, I lost about 2,400 pounds. And they're like, what do you mean? And I said, well, over my lifetime up to that point, I had been so impacted with various different debris that was non-human, whether I ate it, breathed it, drank it, had it come in through my skin. Because when I did the detox, I had so much stuff come out of my body for the first 3 years. I thought, man, there's like a couple thousand pounds of garbage that I've dumped out that rehydrated itself and was eliminated the nastiest way imaginable. But I had a very weird background because I spent 17 years in the oil and gas industry in Alberta. That exposed me to a massive amount of heavy metals like lead, cadmium, and mercury, as well as a lot of different toxic gas that I breathed from the different things, and then chemicals. So I had a very different background. And many men who lived in the oil field for periods of time died young. So I was in a different position than most people. I would never expect anybody to be as bad as I was. But because I was in that condition, I had to learn a lot more and just become very efficient and adept at dealing with that. Once I started finding out that I could do these things, I was like, everyone in the world's got to find out about this, because everyone can actually feel better than they ever dreamed possible. And it's not about how old you are. It's about how long you've been on the earth, and have you been doing the right things or you have been doing the wrong things. So it's the sowing and reaping principle, right? You know, you're going to reap a harvest no matter what. You might as well start sowing some good seeds and doing things that are making you feel better in the future to make sure you're just, you know, but a lot of society doesn't know that. Like we were programmed to think a certain way. You go to the dentist, you go to the doctor. If you're sick, you do this. You know, you listen, you do what you're told, instead of learning how your human operating system works in your universe. Because you're the one who wakes up in your universe every morning, right?
Right, that's true.
You're the one who's affected by it.
We wake up somewhere, right? But,
that's right. You want to always wake up in your universe every morning.
Yeah. But I want to know, you know, why is health so important? And you know, and it's right now, everybody's focusing on health because of the situation that's happening now. So why, in your opinion, why would health be it's so crucial right now to be healthy?
Right. Well, there's a lot of different reasons. I'll hit the big ones right out of the gate. Number one is stress. So when you're under stress, and this world is going into heavy stress right now, and stress is not always felt. Stress is involving your autonomic nervous system, so that people get into what's called sympathetic stress, where they're running from the tiger, they're having to get stuff done, but they can't snap out of it. And so that deteriorates people. It actually affects their immune system. People are being asked to do things that are extremely unhealthy right now. So you've got to compensate. Like every time that somebody wears a covering on their face, they're breathing their own toxic gases. They're building bacteria around the material. It's super compromising their health. And like I personally can't wear a mask. It's not that I don't want to, I can't, because it actually threatens my life. I've had a lot of lung issues where I would get infections, and most of it, the root cause is bacterial pneumonia. So when a person wears a mask for too long, they get bacterial pneumonia regardless. I had it because I had rheumatic fever when I was a kid, and I had streptococcus infections, and I used to take antibiotics and all kinds of stupid stuff all the time, not knowing that I was compromising myself. So I had to do all this repair. So I'm a super sensitive person when it comes to anything. I can't have anything covering my face. I can't breathe my own toxic gases. But people are out there wearing them 8-9 hours a day at work right now. Young people are. Children are doing this at school, where they're forced to do this. So they've got to compensate. They've got to think about their respiratory system. They've got to think about their immune system. So brain function, lung health, and immune system are affected every time you wear a mask. It is probably the most unhealthy thing you could possibly do. Another problem is that people are putting 95% ethyl alcohol in their skin. That's going into their skin, into their bloodstream, and into their lungs, and up into their brain. Because you know, when you put it on your skin, you breathe it. So people are forced to put hand sanitizer on. It's super poisoning them. So they've got to get into detox. They've got to be detoxing the stuff out of their system. So you've got to deal with stress. You have to detox. You got to think about your respiratory, your circulatory, your whole cardiovascular system is being hyper compromised. Plus, for the first time in life, people are being instructed to be afraid to be alive. You know, you should be afraid right now, because there's this super deadly situation out there. You should also be afraid of dying. So just think of what fear does. I'm not afraid of these things at all. I've never been afraid of dying. I never will be. I'm certainly not afraid to be alive. I've gone through it all. Like I've been down, I went through the firewall so hot and thick when I was 46 years old to 49 that I suffered so much and I learned so many things. I ceased being afraid of dying. In fact, the doctors back then were trying to scare me and say, if you don't do surgery, if you don't do what we tell you, you're going to get cancer that's going to go malignant and blow it here and blow it there. And it's going to get even worse. Now, they were right in certain instances, but if I was going to be afraid of that, I would go do the surgery and the chemo and the radiation, but I knew that would kill me. So my fear of death is gone. That got fried out of me. So I'm so thankful to be alive and so happy to be alive. I don't have time to be afraid to be alive or afraid to die. Just don't have time for it. You know, my mom's 98 years old.
That's a good point with the mask and the hand sanitizer. A lot of people are putting that on. And, you know, I didn't even know that when you're breathing in with your mask, you're breathing in all your toxins. And somebody like me, I have sarcoid, and, you know, people didn't know that. That's why I'm susceptible. I have to be very careful during these times and stuff like that. And a lot of people weren't aware of it. But since we're on today, to disclose that information. And, a lot, and the hand sanitizers, you're actually breathing that stuff in too. So, wow.
Pure poison. It is 95% ethyl alcohol to meet FDA and Health Canada requirements. You couldn't pay me to put that on my skin. You couldn't pay me to go near it. I have my own hand sanitizers. I use iodine and I use different essential oils that really actually work. And
Okay.
if the people were to actually do the studies, they find out the alcohol doesn't even touch viruses. It only deals with bacteria. So it's a fear factor problem. That is, but the more fearful you are, the more you're compromising your health because it affects you. You start producing acid. Your cellular function is compromised. Your mind is more powerful than anything out there. And the placebo and the nocebo effect are very, very powerful. So what we're here to do is to support people who are compromised in these areas. And there are certain raw materials you can get. And the things like black seed oil, we talked about a little bit before. In our conversation before we got on the interview.
Mm-hmm.
Right. And black seed oil, which is black.
You produce your own, you make your own products, correct?
We are a primary manufacturer in Canada. We ship worldwide. We've gone through iterations of perfection at levels that other companies don't even dream about. Because when once I was compromised and I realized that I was not going to be around if I didn't fix the problem,
right.
I thought, what do I actually want? What do I want? I want to have the top quality, most efficacious health products in the world at the very best possible price. Because that's what I wanted. So if I want that for me, I should want that for you. And I should want that for everyone else. Because that's what I want. And I think that everyone would like that kind of thing. The things that they know when they're investing their hard-earned money in themselves, they want to get a good return on that investment. So what we did, we became a primary manufacturer because I kept seeing all the shortcuts that contract manufacturers were making when they're making health supplements and things like that, because they're into the profit margins. What can I make the most money at? What is trending? What are all the shortcuts I can take to make the max amount of profit? And I'm not interested in that. Because if you become efficient and really, really good at what you do, you automatically have profitability. You got to have profitability to run a company, because you want to be able to reinvest the money and grow for the purpose of serving more people. So now we're sitting in a 70,000 square foot facility. We started in the basement of our house in Toronto, and back in 2006, because it took me 2 years to get deep enough into something that made a difference. The very first thing that I ran into, which I didn't even understand at the time, was a thing called marine phytoplankton. And that became a product called Oceans Alive that we've been sending around the world ever since beginning of 2007. And that's like a whole spectrum nutritional product that has nanonutrition. It's all heirloom. It has every nutritional molecule known to man in it. And when I started taking it, I couldn't believe how good it made me feel. I didn't, like, as I felt bad before, but I started to feel good, and then I started to feel really good. It was like it was charging up the battery inside my body. It's not like coffee where you get a buzz, none of that. It's just the charge that you get, that you just feel stronger. You're empowered. It's really weird. You'd have to almost take it to understand what I'm talking about.
Okay, we got to try it then.
Right, when that happened, we showed some people in Canada, and they were like, "Oh, that's just algae, and we've heard of that." And I go, "No, this is totally new, totally different. This comes out of Europe. Nobody's ever done this before." "Oh, no, that's like spirulina chlorella." So nobody in Canada took an interest. I ended up going down to California and showing some people down there at a health show in March of 2007. I just let people up here wouldn't even try it. Down there, like, "No, I'll try that." They tried it. Within 15, 20 minutes, they came back and they go, "Okay, what is this stuff?" And so I was like, "Oh, they're starting to feel what I feel." And I said, "Oh, you have no idea. You feel this already. You wait till you try this for 90 days, and then you'll know what I'm talking about." So they all did that, and ended up millions of dollars worth of product was put into the market just through word of mouth, without even doing any marketing or sales at all. Just these people down in California went nuts over this stuff. So that launched us into an ability to start to explore more things. But that became our foundational product, and that we really launched it in Canada in 2014, 7 years later. And then people up here found out about it. And then we had an actual real business that we could build out, and then we got our manufacturing facility. It took us 5 years to get all of our licensing in place. In 2019, we got, GMP. There's so much involved in all this stuff, but you have to set your criteria at a really high level to be able to meet a standard that is going to match the end user's value proposition.
Okay.
Because that's what it was all about for us. It wasn't about having a business to make money on products. It was about having a business that could serve super valuable stuff to people who just love it and thrive and have a long, healthy, enjoyable life. So we're really a lifestyle company.
So you're a health trendsetter.
For sure. And I just want to, we don't have the end all be all for everything. I mean, I buy products from other companies who have fantastic top level stuff, but it's very, very small amounts of things. And we try to bring in the things that make the difference for people in our category. So that's why the black human seed oil, or known as black seed oil, is an international trend, because it supports lung health. It supports pancreatic health. It helps with your digestion, helps with skin, helps with liver, helps with kidneys. It's like this whole body tonic. And it's very enjoyable to take because you take it with medicinal honey. When you mix it with honey, it works way better. So people have heard of Manuka honey. We have a medicinal honey we bring out of Greece, but it's such a limited amount of quantity that it sells out like the first 2 days when we bring it over. But anyway, you can get honey. Any honey is good, particularly Manuka or the medicinal stuff that we bring in once in a while. But you mix it with the oil. You just got to take it every day. And we get astounding testimonials coming back all the time. We don't publish them because it would make it like a medical claim.
Okay.
When you can't do that.
Well, what about the grapefruit? What about taking the grapefruit with the black seed?
Oh yeah, any like citrus stuff like that is very good. Grapefruit's just good across the board. But yeah, that also helps to break it down in your system because it emulsifies it a bit. The reason the honey's so cool is because number one, it makes it taste great. But number two, it's an adjunct. So the word adjunct, what's that?
It tastes a little funny when you're not used to it.
Oh yeah. Oh man, I didn't like it at all when I first had it. I was like, this is like annoying, because I wasn't taking it with honey. And it actually stung the back of my throat.
Oh my gosh. And
so people were saying, oh, that sounds like it's not good. I go, so I checked it out. I checked into that. Found out, no, that's not the case at all. It's because it is so potent. It was going after all the bacteria and garbage, that gets in the throat.
Yeah.
Like in your tonsil area. That's why people get sore throats. There's so much garbage back there. It took 2 weeks because I was just taking it straight with a teaspoon. And so it took 2 weeks and that stopped because it cleaned up the whole back of my throat. And I was like, oh, wow, cool. So, but when you put it with the honey, it still does the same effect. It actually becomes better because honey is viewed as a superfood to a virus or a microbe or a bacterial thing that shouldn't be in your body. So it consumes the honey with the black seed oil in it. And then it's like a Trojan horse kind of thing.
There it is.
Yeah, that's the bottle.
Right there, right?
Yeah. Perfect Press from activationproducts.com. It's available in Canada and the US. It's available internationally.
And what price is it that, to get it?
Oh, that's $39. $39.
30?
$39.
Okay, 39. Okay. And that's for how much milliliter?
So that's a month's supply.
Oh.
1 month supply. And really, it lasts longer than a month, but people use it on their skin. They use it on their hair. It thickens your hair. It helps with skin remedies. It's beautiful for reverse aging. It just has a lot of applications. So they end up using the whole bottle in a month. But 1 teaspoon a day is the dose, and there's 50 teaspoons in the bottle.
Oh,
yeah. Yeah, 50.
Yeah. So what you take it with the honey, you take it with the grapefruit, and is there any other stuff that you would take? That's for the general health that you would take every day, because I've been taking the some black seed oil, and I feel the difference.
For sure. Oh yeah, it's trending. People do feel it. Even the stuff that's not pressed with the perfect press technology. The only reason ours is at the highest level because it's the most bioavailable. It's not damaged in the process. But even black seed oil that's produced in less quality equipment still has an effect on the people. It's still good. Every single black seed product I've seen out there is good, unless they're diluting it. Sometimes you get like companies that will dilute it to make more money, but for the most part, the ones that I have checked, the ones that the companies I respect, they're pretty good. Yeah. So ours just happens to be at the top level of this category for the most efficacious. So it gives you the best value for the dollar you're spending. And that's just the way it is with all of our products. But anyway, there's many other things you can do to support health. We have an iodine product, but that's not available in Canada yet. You have to go through quite a registration process with Health Canada.
Okay.
It's available in the U.S. It's available internationally. But
we can't get the iodine here, or we have to get it from you
no,
directly.
not yet. No, not.
Okay.
We're hoping by March, April, it'll be available in Canada.
Okay.
There's just policies with Health Canada up here. You cannot sell something that doesn't have an NPN.
Okay. But what about the magnesium? A lot of people are taking the magnesium, and everybody's taking magnesium. So what is that?
Well, magnesium deficiency is rampant across the board. Everyone's deficient to a degree or another. Women particularly get more susceptible to magnesium deficiency because they're in their hormonal cycles, and also women handle stress a lot differently than a man. But both men and women demand magnesium as a fuel, and it has to be either in your food, but most often the food does not have enough in there, and it can be done through supplementation, which is orally consumed. We provide an external transdermal product, so it goes in right away and goes to work all over your body wherever you place it, and then it doesn't get filtered out with your kidneys, and it doesn't tax your digestive system. So it's a very rapid action, magnesium. Now, magnesium calms your body because it relaxes your muscles. Calcium contracts the muscles, magnesium relaxes. That works with your cardiovascular system. It works with your whole autonomic nervous system. It helps you get deeper sleep. It helps you have more calm, sustainable energy during the day because your brain is burning magnesium for a fuel. When you think about biochemical reactions in your body, there's more than, and this is a medical study that was done for 15 solid years, more than 330 biochemical reactions require enough magnesium to function at the proper level. And when you're low, your body's going to get it from somewhere, but it's just not enough. So it's just like getting not enough fuel. And that's where people lose energy. They get a brain fog. They'll get anxiety, depression. They'll have sore joints. They'll have stiff muscles. They'll have heart palpitations. Those are all signs of magnesium deficiency. So magnesium doesn't cure those things. It's not like a cure.
It's not a cure, but it helps you. It helps to like a band, not really a Band-Aid, but you have to have it.
We have to, as fuel. So it's just like your vehicle. If it's running on really crappy gas, or the oil's running low, or it's got poor cooling system, it's not going to run well. That's really all it is. Gasoline and oil and antifreeze doesn't cure your car. Your car requires it. So when you don't have enough, you're going to sputter along the road. It's the same with your body. So people think, oh, it cured this, it cured because it did that. Yeah, okay, well, that's what they can think it is, but none of these things cure anything. Your body just requires that because your body is this amazingly intelligent chemical production factory. You eat food and it changes into all the stuff that your body uses in every cell of your body. So you're very complex, but your whole system is automated. If you don't feed your body the right raw materials, and if you're feeding it toxic stuff, your body can deal with it, but it hates it. Whereas when you feed it really good, solid, heirloom, organic, full nutrient stuff, your body is like, yeah, cool, this is great. You're giving me the fuel. I'll make you feel better now. Yeah.
Well, you're gonna come back again, because today you talked about black seed, you talked about the magnesium, you talked about iodine, which is not available here in Canada, but it's in the U.S. because it's shipped worldwide. But can you tell everybody where they can order this stuff, where they can get it? Because instead of giving people Christmas presents, they can give them something that's healthy, right? This year or for holidays. So tell us where they can order.
The main website is shop.activationproducts.com. If they go there, that's just a little e-commerce setup, and then if they join our email list, we share some very definitive access to other areas where they can learn more about the products. And we also daily send out information about all the health tips, and these are the top level health tips that you can really change your life with. There are some things you can do for free at home too that we know about that I share with people, and they really make a difference. So I see our products only as complementary to helping fuel the body. Whereas the things you can do that don't cost anything at home are the really fun stuff too. So people can actually speak to you
And can they come to a physical location, or if they have to go buy it? But because I know you're in the east end of the
Yeah.
city, right?
No,
So,
we're all direct to consumer online. There are some health food stores who handle some of our products.
okay.
We have, but we're not really big in the health food stores. We're more, because we're such a unique product line, people
Okay.
need to learn about why we exist, who we are, and why it makes a difference. Why they should be definitely paying attention to this. Yeah.
Well, I gotta have you come back on and you can discuss something else. You know, a few other, I'll have you come on a couple times so you can. So you told us the effects today of, everybody that was watching. You told us that black seed oil, his black seed oil is not been tampered. It's pure. It's that's what you can get, and it's very good for you. Unfortunately, we didn't have the picture of the magnesium, but on the website you could see it there, right, Ian?
That's called EASE, EASE. EASE magnesium is in a spray bottle, and you do 30 sprays a day in the morning, 30 at night. Yeah, it moves. People love that. That's actually one of our most popular products because it makes you feel so good in so many ways.
You just spray it. It's not internal.
That's right. Yeah.
Okay. All right. That's the one that goes right into the skin. Okay. Well, Ian, it was a pleasure speaking today, and I'm pretty sure a lot of people learned. I think everybody's probably going to go out there and get some black seed, and you told everybody about what the masks do, and that was something that was an important issue also.
Mm-hmm.
So you're breathing in your own toxins.
Yeah, you don't want to be doing that. Yeah, you want to be really healthy, and you want to have no fear. That's the biggest.
Yeah. Okay. Well, thank you, Ian, for coming and your company. This is Ian, the CEO and founder of Activations. Everybody go support him. Go see the products. Also follow me on Instagram, DBoss_1, Real Life Matters. So, I thank everybody out there that's watching, the 1.4 million homes in the Caribbean watching this, and everywhere else on Bell 5's channel 658 watching, and I do keep watching me because we're getting some very good tips, very good people coming on. So bye for now.
Bye-bye. Thank you.